This is One Piece, the Netflix series. Really, it's an anime. It's one of my favorite. I would say it is my favorite anime of all time. Uh, so when the first season, the live action came out, I was a little nervous. Now compared to all other live actions, this one's one of the better ones. Being like a fanatic of the actual show, though, I can't say the season one was perfect. Nobody can say it was perfect. People can say it was like, it wasn't bad. That's really what most fans say. But I am excited for season two because season one got a good enough response from most people that they went ahead and renewed it for season two. Because usually, how many anime live actions have gotten a sequel or a season two? It's not a lot, honestly. Even like the Avatar one was weak. They got this one out of the way before Avatar live action season two or whatever. So that tells you that this one really had the best reaction. But what happened was, I think they heard the feedback from season one, and I'm hoping they tightened things up for season two. It does, season two is where things start getting very, very interesting. I think season one, in my opinion, they had to get a lot out of the way. Um, you know, in order to kind of, but what it did was it felt rushed. Season one of One Piece live action felt very rushed. They didn't take their time with certain characters. Like Usopp, to me, was like when Usopp joined the crew in the actual anime, it was a big moment because Usopp was like a coward that always ran away. And, you know, when his loved one was getting attacked, he was the only one that stood there by himself, dolo, to take on the cat guy or whatever. And that was a big character moment because, that's why they invited him onto the crew. They saw that, maybe he's not the strongest, but he will stick up for his friends and put his life on the line. And that's what, you know, that Usopp moment I remember in season one was when uh, that arc, I think it was like the cat arc, whatever, uh, Captain Kura, that arc was what got me hooked on One Piece in the first place. For many reasons, the plot twist of the butler being the one that was secretly poisoning her, like that plot twist, I thought was very creative, and then also, of course, Usopp's role as like the weak character, but he found the strength to, what's the word? Like he just found the courage and the strength to stick up for his friends. I thought that was dope. And then the way that he got added to the crew and stuff, that was fire. Um, and One Piece season one, the live action did not encapsulate that well at all. Um, Everything felt like just forced, like they were just trying to make the checklist get out of the way. So I'm hoping season two is a little better, but let's see. I was gonna say, if you are in here, do me a favor, like the video. I'd appreciate it. It helps out a lot, helps out the channel.
There are 100 of us.
This looks interesting. This is Baroque's work. This is Baroque Works. Baroque Works.
And only one of you. That's not gonna be a problem. My friends. We've come a
And the Luffy character to me is the one point. Like Luffy is like one of my favorite characters in anime history, and I just, no offense to this actor, respect to him. I wish all the best for him. I just don't think he's a good actor. I'm sorry. I think he's just a little cringe. He's definitely over the top as far as like trying too hard. Luffy doesn't try too hard. That's just who he is. And this actor, it's very like try hard. But let's get back to the trailer. I'm sorry, guys. I keep pausing this.
long way
Oh, the
from
character.
Jay's-
What? But before, like I said, the characters they got absolutely right was, Nami, 100% perfect. Zoro, 100% perfect. Even Sanji is great character. They got him absolutely right. Usopp, I think they did amazing with Usopp too. The two characters they completely butchered, terrible. Luffy and Garp. Those are the two worst characters that they screwed up in the first season. So we'll see.
Let's find out
what the Dawnline has in store for us.
Let's party.
Monkey D. Luffy.
World government wants your head.
Sorry, Smokey, but we're kind of in a hurry right now.
There's something swimming right for us!
Brace for impact!
So, this season, it looks like they're going to get the Baroque's Works out of the way, right? That's a big plot point. Baroque Works. Big villains in you know, the Alabasta arc. But it leads to, like, they're a big villain, and it leads to, like, a way bigger conspiracy and organization. So basically you start with the, you know, lower level agents. The Alabasta arc, you know, fire, because it, you know, you get with a couple like small fries, right, in the organization in Baroque Works, and then they start uncovering like the bigger conspiracy, right? So then you start going with like some of the managers of Baroque's Works or whatever, a little higher ups, and you're uncovering like a conspiracy, and you're going up the chain until finally you get to the head, the creator or the boss of the entire organization. And you know, it essentially, you have to take down the final boss. So it was a very good, you know, progression there as far as the story.
What the hell was that? We're about to begin!
Let's hope you're hungry.
And I will say this season looks way better. I think that what they're trying to do in this season is not going to fit. Like, they're not trying to rush out 100 different things. Like, the first season one, you got to think there was a lot to do in season one. You had to basically introduce 10 different characters. You had to introduce Luffy, Nami, Sanji. You know, they introduced the strongest swordman, Zoro. They introduced like 10 different people. So none of their storylines really got done perfectly. Nami was the best storyline, obviously. But season 2, it looks like it still has a lot of characters, but all of it flows much better. Like, all of these are part of the same kind of, like, done at the same time. So, like, Usopp and Zoro's arc, these were all, like, Sanji's arc was not done well in season 1. Sanji's arc was huge in season 1 because Sanji basically, they're whatever. Sanji's arc in the actual anime was one of the better arcs as well, because he does not want to come to sea. He doesn't want to, you know, leave Zeph or whatever, and somebody comes to attack their ship, and you know he's hurting everybody, and Luffy's crazy self. I don't know if I should curse, but Luffy basically is the only one with enough courage and what's the word, like mental resilience and strength to stand up to him. And in the anime, there's this moment where Sanji's like looking up at Luffy, just like he's getting beat, and he just keeps going. And then Zeph was like, I've known many men like that in my lifetime. When they put their mind to something, they will never lose. They will go to the ends of the earth, you know. And that's when, and in the anime, Sanji's like watching Luffy like defend the entire crew, or like the entire boat of all the people that he doesn't even know like that, you know. And that was the moment that convinced Sanji to join the crew. And that moment never happened in the live action. So Sanji's arc was kind of, you know, nerfed. Usopp's arc was nerfed, in my opinion. So yeah, but like season 2, it looks like a lot of all these different characters that are getting introduced are actually all around the same like storyline. So it's not gonna be too hard. So starting off, Baroque's Works, you know, this is the organization, right? The Baroque Works, they're introducing Baroque Works. Right here, it's, you know, that they're still fighting. It looks like they're fighting Buggy's crew again, like, you know, for some reason. Maybe that's probably, oh, that's like a quick moment in season 2 when they're actually at Logetown, I believe. That's when they do that. So they go to Logetown here. Let's see. Oh, this is Smoker. So Logetown, Smoker, these are all the same arcs, right? So they fight Buggy. Like, they go to this town called Logetown. This is a vice admiral who has been hunting Luffy. All of these go together very well because all that can be done in maybe like one episode instead of it being like, you know, 10 different episodes that, you know, they try to crunch into one episode, 10 different themes and whatever. This is going to be done much better, I think, because all this does actually happen at the same time. Like, Smoker gets introduced. Vice Admiral, he's the strongest person that they've met up to this point. So they actually struggle with Smoker a lot. They actually just have to run. Spoiler alert. But, and then obviously they run into Buggy's crew on Logetown, and then they end up getting in that fight that we saw. And then in Logetown, it looks like, yeah, this is like the, oh, this is I forgot. Laboon? No, it's not Laboon. Oh, it is Laboon. Laboon, the whale. So this whale, Laboon, great story because that's like when they're getting into the Grand Line. It just happens really quick, but that's also where they get introduced to 2 members of Baroque Works that, you know, Vivi and you know, her partner. I forgot his name. But all this happens at the same... So you see how, like, it's easier for them to tell these stories now that instead of, like, in the first season, there was, like, 10 different arcs, all with their own, like, storylines and stuff. And they tried to fit that into, like, one episode, you know? Whereas to these are all actually, in the real anime, they actually all happen at the same time. So it's, like, it's not like they're trying to force things. Laboon, they get swallowed by Laboon, and then, obviously, that's where Vivi... They meet the Baroque Works agents and things like that, which become a big character too. And then they end up on this island where it has Dory and Brogy. So they're introducing Dory and Brogy. So it looks like we're going to handle Logtown or Logetown, whatever you want to call it. We're going to handle Baroque Works. We're going to handle Smoker. We're going to handle the Laboon and, you know, Vivi introduction. We're handling Dory and Brogy. These are like some very, very important characters in the actual anime. They're giants, so you introduce giants here. This is the other agents that I was telling you about. And then obviously Wapol. Wapol is the guy with the this guy. He has a big metal mouth paws. Wapol. And then he's at the same time as Chopper. So Chopper is the newest member of the Straw Hats here. Let's see if they put him at the end here or whatever. Let's see if they do. I thought they did.
Let's hope you're hungry.
Oh no, this is it right here. That's Chopper. So they're introducing a lot of... Really, it's the Logetown arc, the Laboon arc, and then the Dory and Brogy arc, and then the Wapol arc. So it's really going to be 4 kind of main locations, versus in season 1 was like literally 20. So it's much better. I think the pacing will be better, and it looks great. I mean, honestly, the actual like VFX and the, you know, shots and everything look 10 out of 10. So I'm excited. So One Piece season 2, let's see when this comes. March 10th? No way. There's no way. Whoa, in 3 days. Oh, we might have to do a live watch, boys. Oh, that's fire. Okay, bet. March 10th, season 2. You know I'll be watching. And we'll do a little review after too for people that like One Piece.